Oh, all right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is my friend Liza Lomax. She has been a life coach for 10 plus years, and she has other modalities such as healing energy work, card reading, and animal communication. Her and her partner live in beautiful St. Paul, Minnesota, snowy right now. and she has one son. He's almost 18 and heading to college soon. She is very passionate about helping women feel confident and sexy at any weight, to help them move through the negative self-talk and yo-yo dieting, to help move through all of that and love themselves and their bodies the way they are right now. Her hobbies are traveling, working out, kickboxing, boxing, and anything to help work up a sweat and get those endorphins flowing. She's certainly not a fitness fanatic, but has found a passion for it. And she also manages a gym and personal trainer. Her goal every day is to make sure everyone walks through the door feeling valued, appreciated, and acknowledged. It's not about working out for her or nutrition. It's about it all, the mindset included. It's about being healthy and making healthy choices. And that's how she works with clients, helping them find that even balance between it all and loving themselves. Liza, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you so much for your
Yay.
time.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's dive in. I love getting to the viewers to know you on a personal level. So tell us something interesting about you and your life.
Um, let's see. Interesting about me and my life. There's a bunch of interesting things. Oh my gosh, how long do
Right.
we have?
30
I could
minutes.
I could seriously like write a book. I have so many just interesting things.
Yes.
Let's see. I am the only American on my dad's side. They all live in Denmark.
Cool.
I do go visit every few years. I go over there and visit, hang out with them. We have a family reunion every year, the same weekend in July every year. It's been going on for 60 plus years.
That's amazing.
I know I think my oldest living relative right now is 102.
Shut
Um,
up.
yes, yeah. Well, that's how they grow them in Denmark.
Right? That's the average over there,
Right.
probably.
That's the average. Average is like 96, I think it is. Yeah,
That's
it's really
amazing.
crazy. Um,
Wow.
I was an avid horseback rider growing up. I did Western style riding and West and English style riding. I competed in barrel racing and all kinds of fun Western competitions. I also jumped horses as well. After I got thrown off one, I decided I wouldn't do that anymore. So, but I didn't get hurt. It was just kind of a toss over and
Yeah.
but I was just I loved horses. I've loved animals since I was a little kid. I have stories of me healing animals as a child and
Wow.
things that I didn't know that I was capable of doing. And that's kind of where the animal communication came in.
Yeah.
Kind of like a quick short story.
Yeah.
When I was little, I started seeing people that have crossed over. It's something that I had a gift since I was 5 years old. By the time I was 8, I started seeing angels. And by the time I was 14, I started having very prophetic dreams and visions. And they were so intense that I would turn to the one person I thought I could trust, which at the time was my mother. And she told me it was evil and I was evil and I needed to shut it off.
Wow.
And yes, so I went through my teenage years, part of my adult life, just kind of hiding these modalities and these abilities that I had. And in the process, I was heavy set. I was the chubby girl in school, and I just got bigger and bigger, and I was called just about every name in the book, and I just kept eating and eating and eating, and I created this barrier around myself. And by the time I was 26, I weighed almost 300 pounds, and My doctor told me that I had high blood pressure, I had high cholesterol, I was borderline diabetic, and if I didn't lose any weight, I wasn't going to see my son turn 5, and he was 2 at the time.
Wow.
And so that pretty much scared me. And
Yeah.
the first diet I went on, because this was yo-yoed for quite a bit. The first one I went on was Weight Watchers.
Okay.
And I lost 105 pounds in 13 months.
Wow.
However, I continued to yo-yo, and I tried just about every diet out there. I was fixated on looking like, everybody else,
Yeah.
compared myself to so many other people, was not healthy, was not taking
Mhm.
care of myself, was not loving myself, had that not good enough story playing over and over and over in my head.
Yeah.
And it really was just one day waking up and realizing this is all BS, and that I'm, why am I not loving myself? Why am I not
Yeah.
taking care of myself? Why am I not, bettering myself? So I, did self healing. I did everything that I could, and I basically in the process created these steps that I now help women with, and these 6 basic steps that I help women with, and
That's awesome.
just incorporate everything, from the not good enough story to the not eating well and not taking care of yourself, to comparing
Yeah.
yourself to other people, and the constant rolling in the heads of the negative self-talk that we put in our heads day after
Yeah.
day after day. And it was like one of those realizations that I'm like, well, why am I not helping women that have gone that I've gone through the same thing. I've
Yeah.
gone through the whole process. I know
Yeah.
how I've been there, done that. Why not help women? So I created this program to do just that. And this past January, I created a challenge group. It was a Treat Your Body Kindly challenge,
Yes.
where it was a wonder. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved it because I was doing the challenges myself with everybody else. So it was
Yeah.
so much fun.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like we use our own personal experiences to,
Mhm.
better other people. Like you said, you've went through all those steps and the things that helped you. Now you're implementing them in your program. And the challenge, I mean, it's not just for the people, like it's helping you too. The same thing with this vlog. Like people are like, oh, that's a perfect job for you, whatever. And I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like it's out of my comfort zone to do this as well. It's not
Right.
just, it's not about me, it's about your story.
Mhm.
But even just showing up and doing it is out of my comfort zone as well. So pushing ourselves to go through those things and do them with other people is how we hold ourselves accountable for
Mhm.
staying on top of our own thoughts and
Mhm.
moving through those fears and struggles too. So absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just yeah. So I mean, this challenge group was just amazing. I had these ladies, and my thing is doing videos too. I was completely getting on my comfort zone, and I've grown up being the perfectionist,
Yeah.
and you have to do everything right, you have to do everything perfect. And I did theater for a long time too. So I always had a script.
Yeah.
Always had a
Right.
script of what to say. And so when I came to do the videos, I was like, what do I say? What do I say? And then I'd screw up, and then I'd like get so upset and I get so angry, and I'm like, take 1, take 2, take 15, take 32.
Oh
It's like, what
God.
the heck? So yeah, I completely got out of my comfort zone and doing videos and doing these every
Yeah.
day. And I had such a transformation in this group. I mean, these ladies, did things that completely got out of their comfort zone that would never have done it any other time.
Yeah.
And then I've just continued to, I just continue in this particular group just to release some content here and there. I do a weekly video series where I just put kind of, whatever I hear what's going on through Facebook or social media, or if I hear what's going on just in the
Yeah.
general world, I do a quick little video and I say, hey, this is what you need to work on this week.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it's been great.
I definitely I got into this group and I saw like the first parts of it for sure. And you were like having people dance into their favorite like jam song and stuff. And people were actually doing it. I was like, this is so cool. Like that what you still are doing in that group, I think is just phenomenal. for helping people get out of their comfort zone. And of course, I'm all about that. So I loved the different things. Like every day it was something different. And I thought it was just so great the way that you did it. So I loved that so much. So so diving in, like talking about fear specifically, let's talk about the significant time in your life that fear was holding you back from living your life fully. What did that look like?
Goodness, I mean, there's so many times in my life that, or so many times in all of our lives where we are faced with this fear, and we're faced with this huge situation or problem or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And, it's just, we can either run and hide and go under a rock, or we can, face it head on and plunge forward and, evaluate it, look at it, release it, and let it go.
Yeah.
There's been several times. Specifically when I was, almost 300 pounds, and the doctor's telling me that, look, you're going to die. You're going to have a heart attack, or something's going to happen. And I'm like, I'm only 26. My goodness, I have my whole life ahead of me. So,
Right.
that was a pivotal moment. I remember sitting in the doctor's office, and I'm like, well, what can I do? I mean, is there something I can do? And he was like, well, you're not large enough to do any kind of surgeries or do anything like that. He's like, just try to find a diet. And I'm like, okay, well, you're like, you're telling me I have to lose weight. Aren't you supposed to guide me into figuring out what I'm supposed to do? And
Right.
I figured it out on my own, and but it was hard, and it was tough.
Yeah.
And, that was, it was very, and then, I think day to day, there's always something that
Right.
challenges us, you know, every day. And, I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm like,
100%.
we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we need to make these experiences, and we need to go through these in order to evolve, in order to, be, get, evolve into higher beings.
Yeah.
We need to get out of our comfort zone. We need to face up fear. We need to get through these things in order to get to the next level and the next phase in our life. So,
Yeah.
there's constantly, I just recently had a fear of, of just, what's the word? Just not, I don't know. I just wanted to crawl under a rock and just hide. But I
Yeah.
came
I
I
think
came
we all
through
have
it.
those fears of like not being enough,
Mhm.
self-worth, like
Mhm.
is it valuable enough for whatever the fear is? And like you said, we all have the fears every day. And that's what I say too, is like it's not the Live Fearlessly blog isn't about, that we live fearlessly all the time. It's
Mhm.
about that we don't have, it's not that we don't have fear. It's that we
Mhm.
have the fears and we find ways to move through them
Mhm.
and or overcome them, or however you want to look at fear. But like you said, we have it every day, and how we choose to approach it is really
Yes.
where the mindset, and I know that you're big on the mindset stuff, so I love that too. So when the fear was holding you back during that time, how did you feel about yourself, and where were you mentally in that stage too, with everything like the doctor's telling you, and then like moving through that fear of like, okay, I got to make a change? Where were you mentally, and how did you feel about yourself during that time?
I didn't love myself. I didn't have any self-worth. I didn't have any self-love. I was not compassionate of myself. There were things that I did to my body that nobody should ever do to themselves. And I was not in a good state. So I went into the weight loss not even having that right mindset already.
Right.
And then losing all the weight and still seeing that same person in the mirror, and then trying to maintain it, which it's not going to happen. Because we can diet, and we can nutrition, and we can do everything that we possibly can do, but until we change what's going on up here, everything will be temporary. It's not
Yes.
gonna it's gonna be permanent. It's not gonna be permanent, if you don't change your mindset. And I did not love myself. I honestly did not love myself for a long time. And I hated looking myself in the mirror. I hated seeing the reflection.
Yeah.
I had these constant monsters in my head telling me that I'm not good enough and I'm not special enough and I can't do this and oh, I have to look like this and I have to look like that and I have to have this and that and this and that constantly. I mean, it was just,
Yeah.
constant. And I mean, I had depression, I had anxiety, I had OCDs. I mean, you
Right.
name it, I had it. And it was so bombarding. And it was just a constant, I was like on that on that hamster wheel, just constantly going around and around and around and around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So tell us about your relationships during that time too. Like friendships and relationships, they shift and change like when we're going through those pivotal moments of life change for ourselves. And I mean, losing 100+ pounds in what, 13 months, did you say?
13 months.
That's,
Yep.
I mean, that's just a crazy transformation to go from. So tell us about the relationships during that time too.
So I consider myself, well, I was a doormat. That's my main, that's what I was for everybody. I was a people pleaser. I was constantly like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? How can I benefit you? Oh, I'll pick you up. I'll take care of you. And then, and then they get knocked down again. Oh, I'll pick you up. I'll take care of you. And then,
Mm,
they just basically knocked me down in the process. So my relationships were horrible back then. I mean, I did not have good people in my life. I did not have people that supported me. I had a lot of toxicity in my life, people, places, things, everything.
yeah.
It was just constantly, and here I'm trying to change my life and change myself, but I'm still haunted by all this other stuff that's going on, all this other mindset,
Right.
stuff, and all these people in my life, and all these places, and all these things that I'm doing constantly. So I was not in a good space at all.
Right.
After I started transitioning, and going through the, like, hey, this is BS. I need to change. I need to do something.
Yeah.
It was very, very interesting how many people I lost and how many people I gained from all of that.
Yeah.
Um, there were even family members I had to disconnect from.
Okay.
And that was tough, but it was something that I needed to do for my own
Yeah.
self
Right.
and for my own self-worth and my own self-love.
Yeah.
I had to cut them out. So
Yeah.
it was, and now I have no, everybody around me supports me, loves me 100%, 1,000%. I only, surround myself with people that are like-minded, people that, support me and my highest good, and, and vice versa. Yeah, I mean, life is wonderful now. I mean, it really, truly is. I mean, I look in the mirror now and I think, dang, I look good. I
Woo!
mean, seriously,
I
I
love
do.
that.
I just like, I walk past the mirror every day at work and I was like, wow, I really look good. I am so proud of myself. And
Good.
I,
That's what we all need, right?
yes, yes.
That self-validation, like, well, I doesn't matter, even if someone else thought differently, it doesn't matter. It matters what we think of ourselves and who we say we are, and knowing that that you are the only one that matters for what you think of
Yes.
yourself. I
Hmm.
love that you're like so happy about yourself and that you look in the mirror and think, dang, that's awesome, because you
Yes.
have come so far. I mean, you can obviously tell that. So okay, so the pivotal moment for the change and like waking up, that was the doctor scare, right? I mean, was there anything else that you can think of during that time that was like, oh, this has to happen now? And like sticking with it, because I mean, that was a 13-month um transformation that you're talking about. Was there any like real pivotal moments that stick out that are like, oh yeah, this had to happen, this had to keep me going? Anything that you want to talk about with that?
Um, I mean, oh goodness, it was such a long time ago too. And it's like when I go, try to go back and think about that,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there were moments where I wanted to give up, and there were moments that I just wanted to just literally throw in the towel and be like, no, I can't do this. Um, I just, the driving force, feel was my higher self, my guides, my angels, whoever, was there looking after
Yeah.
me was just kind of pushing me and telling me I can do this, I can do this. And it was the fear of everything. It was a fear of dying. It was a fear of, being, sick the rest of my life, or whatever
Yeah.
was going to come about it.
Right.
And I would wake up and I work out in the morning, and I would work out at night. So, I mean, I literally
Oh,
was
wow.
like on this Biggest Loser, like, workout myself.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
and
So did they give you like a specific goal to hit? Like, did your doctor tell you like you need to lose this much weight to like take the pressure off your body? Or was there anything like a goal that you had set from the doctors or anything like that? Or that he gave you no guidance?
no, he gave me no guidance at all. Basically just said, you need to lose weight or else, or not, or, it was,
Right.
yeah, it was, yeah. I ended up getting a different doctor after that, but
I can't imagine why.
way
It was so
later, I can't
helpful.
imagine. You're right. So helpful.
Wow.
But I did actually have two other people that actually did the program, did Weight Watchers with me the first time.
Okay.
They did not have as much success. They did actually gain it back. But I'm the one that lost the most. So we kind of had our little core group. We had these three
Yeah.
people, and we kind of I didn't go to the meetings. I didn't go to any of the other stuff. I just did it at home. We cooked our own meals, had our own stuff there, did everything together. I just, it was like I needed to lose weight, and I was going to keep doing it until I got to whatever point I was supposed to get to. And I did get down a little too low. I mean, I guess according to some people I did. And then,
Well,
again,
working out
throughout the
twice a
years.
day, like that's
Right.
hardcore.
Right. But I mean, like I said, through the years, all the way up till that, that point, I did continue to yo-yo. So I would gain like, 20 pounds, then lose, and then 40, and then lose, and then
Wow.
50, and then lose. So it was very fluctuating. I feel like I did more diets than Oprah, I mean, it's like, I mean, how I yo-yoed more times than Oprah did,
Wow. So what kind of advice would you give people about overcoming fear?
Um, don't let it. Just, I mean, flat out, don't let it. I mean, it's an illusion. It's not real. It's yourself. Yep. It's
Yep.
yourself in front of you. I mean, you are your worst critic and your worst enemy.
Yep.
And no, don't let it do it.
Yeah.
It's BS.
I love it. And
Just
that's
stay.
why it's such a daily that's why it's a daily practice, right? Like to move
Mm-hmm.
through fear because it is in our heads. We make up these fears. Our little person in our head makes up these fears for us. And the longer we sit in that space, the more they fester, the bigger they get
Mm-hmm.
in our heads. And it's so funny. You're like, just don't.
Just don't. I'm like, I've kind of started saying this saying in some of my videos says, stop the self-loathing and start the self-loving.
Oh, I love
And
it.
fear is an illusion, and it's only there to stop you from being your authentic self. So
Yeah.
just don't.
Don't. Liza's her advice, just don't,
Just
okay?
don't.
Just power through. I love it. That's awesome. So, okay, so obviously you're really good at, moving through your fears. You're living more fearlessly in that way because you've walked the walk, you've talked the talk, and you're continuing to help other women move through the yo-yo diets and love themselves, whatever weight they're at right now, which I love. That's something I say to my clients and potential people is, I want you to know that you're beautiful the way you are now, not
Mm-hmm.
20 pounds from now. So I love that that's like your mantra with that. So now that you know how to do that and you're helping other people, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I've been asked that question before, and I tell people, I'm like, okay, so picture a crowd of, say, 100 women, and
Okay.
you ask them to stand up if they hate anything about themselves or their bodies. And about 99% of them will stand up.
Right.
That's what? I mean, it's just like, why? No, so it's like, I don't want that. I want that to stop. I want that stigma to stop. I want, I don't want to have that, I just, I put myself through so much torture myself. I don't want to see others putting themselves through torturing themselves, by
Yeah.
saying these things, by not loving themselves, not loving their bodies, that kind of thing.
Right.
So with that said, I mean, doing speaking gigs, being in groups of, a lot of women, and, talking to them about these things, and, possibly, writing a book. I know
Yeah.
I've been told that a few times, that there's a book out there. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just get through some other stuff first, and then we can focus on a book.
Right. We all have a book in us. We all have a story. It's just, do
Right.
you want to tell your story? And, yeah, all that. And the timing. Exactly. The
Right.
timing is huge.
Right. And,
So,
and then, and traveling too. I mean, traveling different places, and just, helping women wherever, and, wherever they are,
yeah.
and all over the place.
Yeah. So you mentioned a room of like 100 women. Is that something that you can like see for yourself? Like educating a room full of like
Hmm.
100 women for you,
For
for like
sure.
speaking and motivating women?
Yes, for sure. For sure. I can totally see just standing in there and just saying, "Hey, cut the BS. Let's stop this. Just
Right?
don't. Just don't."
You'd be like, this is my story. Here's my book.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that so much. So, okay, so where can people connect with you?
So they can connect to me through my website. It's www.lizalomax.com. They can find me on Facebook. They can, yeah, pretty much anywhere.
And for your social media, it's just your name, Liza Lomax, right?
Yep, just my name, Liza
Okay.
Lomax. Yep, yep, yep.
Perfect. I
So,
love it. Cool. So, okay, so I love to end like just giving you an opportunity to say one last thing that you want to say to the viewers, anything that you want to add.
just, love yourself and love your bodies. Be authentically you every single day, every second of every day. Love you for who you are, not for what you do, not for what you say, not for what you look like. Just love yourselves.
Yeah.
We're spiritual beings having a spiritual beings having a human experience. So experience this human life by loving yourself first and foremost. And
Yes.
just trust that everything will be okay, and that, you're fine, and just the way you are. And love you, love yourself, love your body just the way you are.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
So great. Thank
Yay.
you. All right, guys. As I like to say, remember to love yourself and live fearlessly. Thank you.